Edgar Rosa. He is the director of the Conservation and Restoration of Ecosystems at the World Wildlife Fund in Brazil. I believe he joins us from Sao Paulo. Thanks so much for being with us. So at the very least, the government seems to be taking action to cut back on deliberate fires. I mean, is that encouraging from your perspective?
No, actually, what we see so far is not really encouraging because it's not really kind of a clear and really like a precise actions or a course of actions that the government is taking to control deforestation of fire. This measure of just like stopping the fires for 120 days, like this is still a challenge to know how it's going to be implemented. And so far, the monitoring and control mechanisms are not in place and not working. And actually, what we are already seeing is that the numbers on deforestation are so high that the biggest damage is already in place. So the fire season is just going to be like a reflection of this terrible situation where we already lost a lot of forests. Last year, we already reached 10,000 square kilometers, what was a huge number. And these years, we are going for more. Like actually, this year is already worse than what was last year.
Okay. You know, Brazil's leaders have also very clearly said that this is Brazilian territory exclusively. We decide what happens to it. But what happens to that area clearly affects the entire planet. I mean, need there be serious, internationally enforceable legislation passed in order to protect areas like the Amazon?
Yes, and the impact in the Amazon is really great also here in Brazil. Like the Brazilian Amazon is responsible for the rain season in the south of Brazil. And it's also important in terms of a climate regulation here, even beyond what's happening in the global scale. And actually, what Brazil is losing with all this terrible image global-wise is like the opportunity to be a country that can provide food, agricultural production without damaging a very strong and a huge environmental asset that we have here in Brazil. And the world is concerned about it. When you see countries from Europe, even other countries around the world, are concerned about the impact of their consumption in other countries. And actually, that's what it's about. Like we may be losing investments, we may be losing market because of this bad reputation that we are forming here, but beyond all the environmental impacts.
So this decree is set to be issued now next week. It's supposed to go into effect, but there's always a good chance that farmers and those that are active in the Amazon region and responsible for its deforestation won't actually listen to this law, and that the deforestation will continue. What happens if there isn't this cutback?
Yeah, we are very concerned about the impact on Brazilian market due to that. The impact on the local communities, like this deforestation is mainly tied to illegality. So we are talking about land grabbing. We are talking about gold mining in indigenous areas. So a lot of conflicts happening on the ground. So what we may be seeing in the near future is really, really worrying. And something that also worries a lot now is because on top of that, we do have the COVID pandemic happening in the region. And now it's moving from the biggest cities to the small villages and in putting a pressure on the health systems in the Amazon. And during the burning season, what also happens is that it also affects the population in terms of health. And then we're going to also have some additional pressure in the health system in the Amazon coming from the COVID and also coming from the burning season. So what we have in front of us, if this measure of controlling the fires and also the deforestation is a very, very concerned scenario.
Okay, Edgar Rosa, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it.